Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Precise Book Reviews. The book that we will be discussing today is a story which is very close to my heart. It's a book whose story should be known to every Indian. A book which must definitely be there in the bookshelves of every Saraswat household. You may have heard of the Jewish Holocaust, the exodus of the Kashmiri Pandits, but somewhere lost in the history books is the story of the Saraswat Brahmin. This is the story of our ancestors. It is heart-wrenching and at the same time a story of motivation, determination and grit. SWAPNA SARASWATHA by Gopal Krishna Pai is an eye-opener and an epic tale we will be discussing today. The Saraswat Brahmins are a community which has the longest and widespread migrations among any community in India. Migrations started back from the year 1000 BC when the entire Saraswati river started drying out and the people were left with no choice but to move to other places. This took centuries and slowly the community moved to the north in Kashmir, the east in Bengal and to the southwest. Some of the families during their journey to the east had settled in Bihar and during 1000 AD, now that is almost 1500 to 2000 years later from BC, so it's many centuries after their migration, they moved towards Goa, and just to differentiate between the existing Brahmins of the south, they called themselves Goud Saraswat, meaning from the Goud Desh, that is Bihar. Now that's ancient history and this book is not regarding that. This book dwells in the recent past when the Portuguese captured and started ruling the state of Goa, where the Saraswats had settled. The narration is in the form of an epic detailing the story of 9 generations spread over a period of 250 years, from 1510 to about 1760. This is a saga of another migration, but one which was forced due to religious intolerance and the Portuguese Inquisition. This book is hard work of an extensive research spanned across a long length of time. In the book, the author traces the journey of one of the families that had to run away from Goa and traces the family for 5 generations. The gradual changes that happen to a family structure, that is, from a joint family to a nuclear family, can be seen in this narration. History can be very subjective, but the author has remained unbiased and the narration is gripping. The Portuguese entered India in the 16th century and they moved a little more inland after defeating the Adil Shah dynasty of Bijapur. In the initial years, the Portuguese did not interfere in the daily life of the locals, but gradually as years passed by, religious intolerance started and forceful conversions took place. Some willingly accepted the conversion so that they could keep their land and other rights. Some just converted as an eyewash and still pursued their culture within the 4 walls of their homes. When the Portuguese found out, these families were executed. More than 500 temples were destroyed and it was the worst time for any kind of religious freedom. Each family had their resident deity or Kuldevta, which they had to throw in the rivers and the wells before escaping from Goa. The families that escaped could not see Goa again. Some of the idols were later recovered and restored in different parts of the western coastal belt, and some of the temples in Goa were rebuilt. To this day, every Saraswat family visits their Kuldevta temple in Goa once a year. For many Indians, Goa may remind you of sun-kissed beaches, excellent resorts, a vibrant nightlife. But for this community, Goa is a pious place, a place of worship, and a place to remember our ancestors. I too belong to this community and I feel for the sufferings of my ancestors. Despite these hardships, the community has a strong culture and a language bond. The Konkani language which we speak does not have a script and is passed down orally through generations. If you are a Saraswat and next time you visit Goa, remember the sacrifices our families had to make to keep our culture and our faith alive. They could only wish to return back to their homeland and died without even seeing it again. The language we speak is unique and is one which we must all be proud of. Always speak in the Konkani language when you meet another Saraswat, and let us keep our culture alive. The book is originally written in Kannada, and I would urge you to buy it if you are familiar with the language. If not, then you can always go for the English translated version. The link to buy both these books in Kannada and English are in the description below. I hope you liked my today's video. If yes, then hit the like button and show some appreciation and share it with your friends. If you have not yet subscribed, then click the subscribe button.